Would it be a fair statement to say that's due to proximity?
No, can you just realize that you're in your own internalized, and that's being. And let me finish real quick. Just let me land. I think we don't realize how much white supremacy and systematic racism infiltrates us, to the fact that you have internalized hate and internalized violence towards someone who looks like you. In the fact, and you, like you said, it's a mental thing. I if you, again, I'm going to say why you said it's a mental thing, and you said it's based on perception. If your perception of your people based on your proximity to Detroit is, I'm not going to lie, I don't lock the door when Asians walk past, but if I see a black man, I feel like I got to grab my strap.
Well,
That is based on systematic racism
no,
in
no,
the
it's not.
effects.
That's because I see black men saying, "Hey,
I just said let me land. Based on, we cannot address the symptoms without addressing the cause. The violence in disassembled communities is systematic racism. The neighborhoods being exploited and extracted based on the fact that Asians were incentivized to exploit our neighborhoods so they wouldn't have access to white capital, but also be able to make their own money. That's why there's Chinese restaurants, Asian beauty supply stores, Asian nail shops. They were able to present as people who aren't violent while committing a huge act of violence against you. So, yeah, they might not be wearing baggy pants, but they're very violent. They're thieves, and they're exploiting you and adopting into systematic racism. So, if anything, you should be ready to grab your strap because they fucked your people over for 40 years. That's what I'm saying. And if y'all don't recognize how deep systematic racism is and how much of our community is being exploited, that when you see somebody who look like you ready to shoot them just in case. But let me take that back. You ready to grab your strap just in case to be on the safe side. But you see somebody who exploited four decades worth of people, and you just like, oh, they good. I'm not even gonna lock my door. That's how we got fucked
all right,
over,
so,
by
all
not
right,
being
so,
aware.
all right,
That's
so
how
I'm
we
gonna,
got fucked over by
Wearing it
Hold
down
tight,
thinking
and
y'all.
people
Hold
blaming
was
tight.
cool. They not.
ourselves.
I'm gonna put
Instead
it
of
like
sitting
this.
and blaming ourselves for things that were out of our control. I see it on this panel all the time. They do it with women
Oh
and
my
they do it
God.
with black people overall. They are going to ignore completely that there's a system of white supremacy that exists within our neighborhoods and our communities. And they're going
Nobody
to
is disagreeing with
say
that.
that this is our fault. Right? I don't
Nobody
feel
is
the same as
disagreeing
you.
that
I feel
white
protected
supremacy.
around black men in my community, as I should. When
You
I see
should,
men
as a
that
woman.
when I see men that aren't of my community, when I see the Chinese men at the store, that's when I pull my strap because I don't know them.
Man,
Y'all got these
I don't
same
fuck
people
with
hold
them.
saying
on,
hurry up and
I don't
buy. They
fuck with
make
them
Yeah,
no
when
no,
kids.
it comes to
hold
our
on, hold on,
hold on,
hold
y'all.
on.
Hold
we
on,
don't have the
everybody,
same
everybody.
mentality
Hold
when it
on.
comes to our people.
Hold
Y'all
tight,
say
hold
y'all
tight,
for our people, but y'all really not. It's cap.
hold tight, Ish. Let me go around and finish with Hing Viz and as far as how they view American culture. And I am going to be putting the time up after I go to Hing Viz and just so we can make sure that the mic is evenly getting spread within a decent amount of time. Go ahead, Simone. What comes to mind with Black American culture?
I love this question. I always try to remind myself of how I felt when we were little. When it comes to Black American culture, I think of barbecues, I think of double dutch, I think of basketball, I think of snow cones, I think of hot flamings with cheese, I think about stepping music, I think about dance, I think about fighting, I think about guns, I think about drugs, I think about but when I think about drugs, I think about that with a lot of people too, and white people because they shoot up a lot of stuff. But it really depends on what perspective are you speaking from. Are you speaking from about experience or like what's being put out to the world? I think that it's more people in our community with an empathetic heart than what we think. I think we do a lot of stuff based off of fear. I do believe that the reason why we get so down, the reason why we are talked about the most when it comes down to the bad things that we do is because that's what they decide to promote, and that's all. Like, we don't really have control over the media, so we don't really have control over like how people see us. I know people say we do, but if one person decides not to do the job, it's always going to be somebody that's the worst of us that's willing to do that job, as you can see based on the artists that we have today. But I do think that it's not as bad as I think it's not as bad as what we think it is. I think it has more good stuff to offer. And I think the older that we get and we see the bad stuff that's happening, we don't remember it. But I think my children remind me of the positive things that Black culture has to offer every day. Because when I'm around her, we have to act different, and we have to, that's when you really reach in deep and be like, oh, we do have positive things about our culture to offer to the world. And if we focus on that, then I think that's what will shine the most.
All right. Go ahead, Brother Hink. What comes to mind? Black culture.
Man, a lot comes to mind, but I find it kind of funny. Certain individuals made a statement talking about we're not going to talk about other people. We need to focus on us, but yet that the whole time they talk about the other people. We talk about some of the things that's supposed to be positive in our culture, but we heard some individuals talking about lying to our own people, take advantage of our own people, not being upfront and straightforward with our people. But we Black culture's great, huh? Yes, a lot. You ladies call each other bitches and hoes, but that's supposed to be a positive and nice and respectful thing. You got dudes calling each other the N-word, but that's okay. But you ready to fight that white boy? You ready to fight that cracker, that redneck, if he calls you the N-word? Now all of a sudden you're gonna knuckle up. You realize the definition doesn't change. Doesn't matter who says it, what color they are. The definition doesn't change. But now we'll say it to each other. It's okay. It's a word of endurement. We took that word back. Nah, you ain't take shit back. Because if you took it back, it wouldn't affect you when they call you that then. But it does. So how you gonna sit there and say, talk about something, we do this? No, we got a long way to go. So yeah, right now, we are in the trash, whether you want to believe it or not. The Democratic Party used the whole hip hop scene to try to entice you, conjure you that some woman of not that's not part of our community, but y'all want to call her part of our community. Y'all want to claim her ass as part of our community. See, that's part of our problem too. We put the white flag and we'll accept anybody and everybody. We'll accept your sick, your bang, your hurt. We don't care. Matter of fact, send you sissy motherfuckers over on the black side too. We accept them too. Well, let me say the men don't, but our sisters will. That's how they get their male and their male testosterone fix. They get the little gay boy to talk to and feel like they got some male. He ain't no goddamn man. He's a bitch. He no different from y'all. He got a split. He ain't got no goddamn dick. He sits down to pee. But y'all claim him like y'all best friends. It's okay, and that's part of our Black culture. And white boys infected that homosexual disease in us, and we accepted it. Just like them white women got y'all out there protesting, talking about, we got rights. We want to feel equal. Y'all wasn't having them problems, but y'all took that white woman's plight and y'all ran with it. And now look at them. They gone off, find them a good husband, while y'all out here on the house, cold on the outside looking in, struggling, crying, complaining, talking about every man ain't shit. While y'all sitting there lonely with that goddamn rose on your nightstand. Wonder if you charged it last night. I'll leave it there, JR, before my time's up.